What's going on, guys? It's Alexa back with another video, and today we're going to be changing the brake pads for my 2011 Jeep Wrangler JK. We are going to be changing the front and the rear brake pads, and my main reasoning behind it is I'm trying to drive my Wrangler a little more than my Camaro over there, so that way I can save some miles on the Camaro. The problem is the Jeep Wrangler brakes, of course they work, but the brake dust is absolutely insane. And that's only from a few test drives. I cleaned these like no tomorrow, just maybe like a week ago. I really cleaned the wheels not too long ago, and already they're pretty bad. And I really think the stopping power for the Jeep could be a little better. So I went with some ceramic brakes from Amazon, and the brand is, here's the brand. We have Bendix brakes, front and rear. These are premium copper-free brake pads, and there's everything included. They even give you the non-slip grease, everything here. So I looked at a few installation videos, so I'm gonna test it out for myself today. This is my first time doing it, changing the brake pads on my own, but hopefully everything works out. And thankfully on Amazon, these two together cost $65. So $65 for front and rear brake pads. I think that's a great deal. So we're gonna install those, and yeah, hopefully the braking power will be a little bit better, and I certainly hope the brake dust improves because it's pretty crazy. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and head to the garage where I'm gonna be working. And also, whenever I get the Jeep cleaned, hopefully sooner rather than later, I have a little mod. Hopefully it can add 10 or 15 horsepower once I put it on there. So anyway, let's get going. Let it warm up for a little bit because it is a little chilly out here. Alright guys, so here I am in the garage, and thankfully I've already had the experience of doing the first one. So now that I have that experience in my belt, I'll be able to better explain to you guys what you need to do, so that way I can make sure I'm giving you the correct information. But first thing, obviously, what you have to do, remove the wheel and tire off of the Jeep. So I'll go ahead and fast forward. Simple torque bolt, and we're just going to get those off real quick. So let's go. Alright, so wheel is off, and here we have the brake caliper. So what I'm going to use is a 13mm socket for this bolt right here, and since it's movable, we're going to have to use a 15mm wrench to hold that down while we screw it out of place, and then we'll be able to do the same thing with another bolt back here. We're going to slide this off, and then we're able to get to our brake pad. So let's do that real quick. Alright, so if you guys haven't noticed by now, please be sure to wear some gloves because this is a very dirty job. But once you unscrew those two bolts, you slide the back of the caliper cover off. Now your brake pads are exposed, and then you can simply kind of wiggle these out from these clamps right here. So you can see the clamps are at the bottom. You just kind of pull on it. It should come out. There we go. And do the same thing for this one in the back. Now my brake pads themselves aren't too bad, but like I said, I wanted to get a new set. See if these are better with stopping power and hopefully better with brake dust. There we go. And now they also provide these brackets. If you want a new set of brackets, the brand that I got, they provide a new set for you. I changed the other side with the new set of brackets, and it became more of a problem than what it's worth. So I think these old brackets on here should be fine, but they do give you that option. If you want to change the brackets, you can. Same thing on the back side of the caliper. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and slide the new brake pads on and make sure I grease up the back side of the pad that'll be facing the piston. So we're going to do that. So first front pad is on, so now I'm just going to take the provided grease and kind of make swirls around the back of this so that way it covers the piston contact surface. Go ahead. Make sure not to get any grease on the pad itself. And this one does have the indicator, so the one with the indicator clip does go in the back, so that way you won't get them mixed up. So they have one with no indicator clip and then one with the indicator clip, so don't pull out two pads with indicator clips and vice versa. So now that our two brake pads are on, now we need to compress our piston back to its original state. I'm going to carefully do this. I'm going to wipe off any excess grease right here, and then I'm going to use a C-clamp to tighten it down and compress it. To make sure we don't damage the piston, I'm going to use the back of a used brake pad. I'm just going to set it up against the piston so that way we can tighten it down securely. Alright, piston is nice and flush, back to where it was. And now, all we have to do is put it back on. So now that everything is tightened down, of course you can clean off the caliper if you want. The main thing is make sure you don't get any grease or debris on the brake pads and on the rotor itself. You can certainly use some brake cleaner around the rotor just in case anything might have gotten on there, but everything should be good to go, and you repeat the process with the rear brake pads. The only difference is the rear brake pads are a little bit smaller, but the same process applies. Remove the caliper backing with the two screws, remove the pads, grease up the one that's on the piston, and then put everything back and you're good to go. So I'll get back to you guys once I'm done with all 4 brake pads. And once I get back in the Jeep, we're going to pump the brake to make sure the pistons are back, and then we're going to take it for a test drive, make sure everything's good to go. So I'll see you guys when I'm done. Alright, all pads have been changed, and now the last thing I have to do is just get in, pump the brakes. Everything has been tightened down, and of course put the wheels back on. So I'll show you what that looks like when the piston goes back into place.
I seen it move. Actually went and got that's how you got that time before you came. Yes, little JK. Put some brakes on. That'll be up to.
Alright guys, so thankfully that is a wrap on the brake pad change. I went ahead and obviously I'm back home now, so I test drove it, made sure I was very easy on the brakes, and everything feels good, it feels smooth. So hopefully this will alleviate the issue. I'm going to clean the Jeep probably tomorrow or in the next couple days, and then I'll be able to keep an eye on the brake dust to see if it really helped improve. But the stopping power is already, it seems like it's a little more stiff, so that's good. It only took me a little extra time because, like I said, this is the first time doing it and just trying to get all my tools and stuff together. I know it'll take some people a little bit less time, but either way, it's very doable, and it's only about 2 things you need to screw out of, and then just kind of fiddle with the brake pads once you slide them in and out. And the brackets really just held me up the longest because some of them were a pain. So, but either way, they supply you with them. Once again, those were Bendix brakes. I got them off of Amazon. The front and the rear totaled to about $65. So you guys can check those out there. Pretty good price, and I hope they are worth it. So, of course, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you're enjoying the content. I do try to post twice a week, so there's always something cool for you to watch. So thank you guys again, and I will see y'all next time. Take care.